What was that? What happened? What happened? What broke?
I don't know what happened. I was watering my plant and I broke your lamp.
Did you touch that? You were always jealous of this lamp.
Jealous of a plastic lamp?
Jealous because I won.
That's ridiculous. Jealous of what? That is the ugliest lamp I have ever seen in my entire life!
Now it was out.
Get the glue.
We're out of glue.
You used up all the glue on purpose.
The old man stood quivering with fury, stammering as he tried to come up with a real crusher. All he got out was,
Not a finger!
That movie is so near and dear to my heart. I mean, that's the movie I grew up with, right? That's my Christmas movie.
Yeah,
and
it's a great one.
But there's something, in my opinion, the funniest part of that sound I want to highlight.
Okay.
Because it's so ridiculous. And I think the world of it. But we'll get to that here in a minute. So first, let's start the show. Everybody, that is Jeff.
That's Derek.
And man, thanks for joining us today. We are the Rhythm Section, and we interview awesome people from this community. Much people like Danny Day, who we just finished an interview with.
Yep.
And he's sitting right to my left. If you want to make an appearance, seriously, come in. There he is, everybody, Danny Day. And he's been blessed with witnessing and watching us screw this intro up. This is take number 2 for everyone that doesn't know. And oh, by the way, Jeff, I lengthened the song.
Okay.
So now it's just more time for me to talk.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, it's just what everybody wanted.
Yeah, so, all right, Jeff, let's tell everybody where they can find us.
Oh, Facebook, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, everywhere.
Everywhere.
And we do have a link tree that you can click on that will take you wherever you want to go.
Yep, it'll take you to every platform we have at this point.
Yep.
We do record this. We are coming to you pre-recorded from SRP Studios, Hernando, and we are produced by Shelby Row Productions. If you want to start a podcast, go to shelbyrowproductions.com, sign up for the free consultation, and you will be setting up a meeting with me. You're going to get directly to me, and we're going to talk about your options and maybe produce an awesome podcast for you. So again, check out shelbyrowproductions.com. And we are sponsored by Patreon. Go to our description and find our Patreon link. Please click through, and you'll be taken to our tip jar.
Yeah.
That is our one tier on Patreon. It's a subscription-based platform. And that's your way, or it could be a way for you to help support this podcast. It's $1 a month. You can spare $1. It goes a long way. Trust me. We get half of my YouTube audience on this, and we're definitely growing this podcast with some monetization. So
there we go.
If you can spare $1, we would appreciate it. And as we always say, parental advisory is advised.
Yeah. Strongly suggested.
Strongly suggested. Thank you. Awesome, Jeff. How are you today?
Man, I'm doing great, except for the rain. Let's get that crap out of here and get some sunshine.
Oh, man. As we record this, it's been raining every day for a week.
Yeah, at
Easily.
least a little over a week, I think.
Easily. So we have a great interview today. Steve Owens.
Yes.
The Memphis music ambassador himself.
He is.
And we're going to get more into his bio here in a minute. And as always, me and Jeff have some things that we want to talk about. But before we continue, we have to revisit the soundbite that we played this at the very beginning of this.
Let's do it.
When I listened to this earlier, this made me laugh because remember now, this is a plastic lamp.
Yeah.
Key to this sound.
Yeah. Plastic
lamp that fell from a windowsill that was maybe 3 feet off the floor.
Something like that.
And this is the sound. Sounds like a chandelier.
It's like the whole world's falling in. That's great.
And I just, because, you know, part of the story is we're experiencing the story through the eyes of a memory. Like, you know,
of a child.
Yeah. So everything's exaggerated.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why everything's
not a finger.
You know, but I mean, that's just, anyways, sorry. I just want an excuse to play sounds.
Yeah. Don't do it anymore.
So, all right, Jeff, we got to address the sweater.
Yeah, it's Christmas time, man. And I won an ugly sweater contest with this sweater, and I'm pretty proud of it. I don't know if you guys can, here, let me.
Yeah, stand
if
up.
I can.
There you go.
It's got a llama.
This,
with shades.
You got to go to YouTube to see this, y'all. Go to
yeah.
YouTube. We have a visual aspect to this show too.
Yeah, it's a pretty fantastic sweater. I'm
so,
happy.
what year did you win this prize?
It's been 3 or 4 years ago, maybe.
Okay, and how big a party was it?
It was at Jason Ware's house.
Okay, the other guy.
The guy that you love.
The
so
other
much.
guy. He's the other guy.
He is the other guy.
No, I love Jason very much.
But Susan and I were just surfing the internet for an ugly sweater, and when she found this one, I said, "You can stop your search."
A llama.
That's it.
Because when you think Christmas, you think llama.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, how many people were at this party? What was your competition? What were the numbers?
There were some really stiff competition. I mean, there were some ugly sweaters, but yeah, I don't remember the number. I guess maybe 10 or 12 sweaters.
Cool. Did you get a prize?
Yeah.
What did you get?
Like a hot dog or something.
A hot dog?
Yeah, I don't remember what. No, there was no prize. It was just all in good fun. So,
well, I'm glad you wore it today.
Yeah, look, it's the Christmas spirit, man. Get into the holiday spirit. Love it. I want to also bring up last episode we talked about a man that I got his Facebook name correct, but I couldn't remember his actual name, and now I have that information.
Is he okay with us?
Yeah. Brian Fagan, Grace Musicians Group. He represents a lot of artists in, I think, Central New York and Upstate New York,
which is how we met him.
That's how we met him when we with Derek Joseph. We played up there, and I wanted to push another band that he has got some dealings with, and they are called All or Nothing. They're a rock band, and unfortunately, just the nature of the business, the lead singers always get a little more love than everybody else. That's just how it works.
Yep.
Well, Brett Carlisle is the
bass player is number 2.
Brett Carlisle is the singer for this band. And if you don't know who that is, go look up a little old band from back in the 80s called Great White.
I've heard of them.
Yeah. Yep. So Brett is he is the movie rock star with Mark Wahlberg. He's like the modern day Mark Wahlberg. These guys discovered him and gave him a job singing lead for Great White. So he is living the dream, and
that's great.
It is very deserving. This guy is unbelievable. He can wail with the best of them. So check him out. Check out Great White, All or Nothing, Brett Carlisle, Grace Musicians Group. Brian Fagan, thank you for what you did for us, getting us to gig up in New York.
Absolutely.
And man, for bringing these talented musicians like Sidney Irving and All or Nothing.
And supporting this podcast. We got to highlight that. He absolutely engages.
Yep.
So we do appreciate that.
We do.
So as we are trying to do, we are trying to get out more.
Yep.
And see bands.
Yep.
And when we do go out, we absolutely want to talk about it. So as we record this last night for you and your wife's anniversary, we met at Sidecar Cafe for dinner. I brought my mom and my daughter and a friend in from Nashville. And the part of the deal was we were going to go there and check out Hairspray Nation. And good fun. I know you know someone. I'm going to throw it to you because you know someone that's in the band, and let's talk a little bit about Hairspray Nation.
Well, I know Mark, the keyboardist. I've actually jammed with Mark in the past. We had kind of thought about putting something together and just never panned out. But great keyboard player, great on the keys. Chris Cook, who is the lead singer. I don't know Chris personally, but know him on Facebook and know him through the music channels. He sings lead for that band, cover band, Hairspray Nation, but he just recently got the gig playing drums for Roxy Blue.
Gotcha.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think he'll be debuting as their drummer at an upcoming gig.
That's breaking news. We need a sound for that, don't we, Jeff?
Yeah,
I'm going to find a sound
we need
now.
to figure that out.
I'm the sound guy. Oh, that's funny. Play on words there.
But yeah, they've got a gig coming up for Christmas. We'll be promoting that in an episode in the future. But it's that's pretty awesome that he got that gig. So
they sounded great. The mix was good. That can be a loud room.
Yep.
So the mix was good. They sounded good. You know what you would expect on the set list, just classic songs from the 80s.
Yep.
And you know, we were with family, or at least I was. So sorry if we didn't come shake your hand. But just know we enjoyed you. We bumped into Jimmy Phelp there, and that was exciting.
Yeah, he was there supporting music.
Yeah.
Yep.
So check them out, Hairspray Nation. Check them out. The next place they're playing. You know, I don't know what their schedule is, but you'll enjoy it.
Yep.
So, all right, Jeff, let's move to the featured guest.
Yep.
We've probably talked too much.
Yeah.
I won't hit the button. I won't hit the shut up
button. That's okay. Steve Owens. Memphis music ambassador himself. Yeah.
So you really know Steve, and you well, I mean, more than I did.
Yeah.
This podcast is what ultimately made me connect with Steve.
Right.
So relatively speaking, I've only hung out with this man a few times.
Yep.
Gentleman.
Yep.
Super nice. It's clear the kind of support he loves giving this city and the music scene.
He does.
But why don't you tell me in the audience a little more personally about Steve Owens?
They already know about Jeff. They know more than they want.
That sweater will make it so they'll never forget you.
Yeah, Steve is just, man, he's everywhere. He's always pushing the bands and the scene, and he helps with gear, and he's just great at all of that stuff. He's not a musician, but we said early on we were going to feature people that didn't necessarily play an instrument. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that help the music industry behind the scenes that don't get the kind of recognition probably and love that they should. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're here to help do. So
absolutely.
Steve and his wife, Katrina, are just amazing people. They
Another video moment.
Yeah, we've already shown this once. Which there it
Jeff,
is.
You're holding up a tumbler with our logo and likeness on it.
Yeah, and they do these tumblers for a lot of benefits where they'll auction them off for whatever bands might be playing the benefit. If it's Every Mother's Nightmare or Fever Tree or whoever, whatever band is playing there, they'll put their logo on the tumbler and auction them off, and the money goes towards whatever cause they're promoting.
That's the kind of people they are.
Yep.
I originally met Steve Owens at Hadley's the night we saw Chasing Angels.
Yep.
But it was loud and we couldn't really talk a whole lot. But it was happening to be the night before his interview, right? Yeah. So then he came in the next day. So this guy walks into this room and has only met me once. And you, how many times?
Oh, I mean, a dozen.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
but I can imagine he might have been a little nervous about that. Yeah. But he was a great guy. And then again, hung out with him at the Crossing.
Yeah,
the night we saw Alan Bone get blinded by the beam of light.
Right.
That's a way inside comment that people are not going to get.
No.
Anything else you want to say about
That's it, man.
Steve?
Let's get him on the interview.
He's called the ambassador for a reason.
Yep.
We'll let him tell his story so you can really get a good snapshot of what he is like. And we just hope you enjoy the show.
Yep.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let's please enjoy the interview with Steve Owens.
Yep. The llama thanks you.
Steve Owens.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for being here with us today.
I thank y'all for inviting me in.
So we were trying to think of a good title for you mere seconds ago.
Yeah.
And I think the Memphis resident roadie is pretty good.
I think that works.
So I don't know you a whole lot. I'm looking forward to getting to know you here on these microphones in real time and learning more about you. I know you know Mr. Jeff over here a little more. And we appreciate you stepping in here.
Yeah.
And from what I've learned and I've seen firsthand, now that we have a new Facebook page, you just support. You love this community, and we are grateful for that.
Well, that's what it's all about is helping everybody and supporting everybody. I mean, just like supporting y'all, you know. and thank y'all for doing what you're doing, because we need this.
Yeah.
Memphis needs the publicity from something like this, because there's so many musicians out there, so many great bands in Memphis that they don't get the publicity that they should.
Yeah.
And this is going to help get them out beyond the 50 or 100 people that come and see them every week.
Yeah.
You know,
That is definitely our hope. We want to grow this thing to where it's just, I'd like to see it be national.
yes.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
when I first had this idea a long time ago, and I don't want to keep repeating myself on this, but I've said this several times, but it was a fun idea because I have a lot of music friends, and get them in here and then grow it from there.
Right.
And then organically it turned into Jeff co-hosting this with me. And thanks to Jeff, he opened my eyes to like,
Yeah.
like the deep Memphis community,
Yes.
the original
Yes.
artists.
Yes.
And now it's turning into, okay, now we're here to just do everything we can to support
Right.
how we can. And this is what I do. And I felt like, producing a podcast would help that reach, so put my powers to good, I guess. But thank you.
Yeah.
Enough about me.
Yeah.
So where are you from, Steve?
I'm from here.
Right here in
I've
Memphis,
lived
Tennessee.
here, actually Hernando, Eudora.
Okay.
I've lived here pretty much my whole life. I lived in New Orleans I think we lived down there about 2 years, and moved back up here. This is my home. This is where I'm from. I don't care where you go. No music compares to the music here.
Yeah.
So the bands here are excellent, top notch. You've got national acts right here that play on the stage every week
Yeah.
that should be in front of hundreds of thousands of people.
I totally
So-
agree. And back in the late 80s, early 90s, we had a great movement here, and a lot of acts got that national
Yes.
attention. And we have the same level of talent now, and the attention just doesn't seem to be there. And that's terrible. And maybe we can do a little bit to help that. But it's just, man, there are just some amazing bands that play every weekend.
Yep.
And you are always right there to help them and to do things with them. And that's what we wanted to get you in here for, because we think that guys like you and Danny Day, and I did it years ago, the help that you give these bands, loading in, loading out, just getting them the things they need is hugely important. And we just want to give you a platform to talk about it.
I thank you for that.
It's because it's always needed.
Yeah.
And we certainly can't afford, right? In a very perfect world.
Yeah.
You have people coming in and help step stuff up.
Yeah.
And you come in like Batman, man. I don't even think they have to put up the bat signal for you. You just show up.
Yep.
So,
and you're about to do something this evening, and we can talk about that now. It's going to be kind of weird because of the way that we publish this.
We have so many benefits going on, and especially when there is a benefit, that's when I really try to push it and try to help, because that's part of the Memphis music community is more of a family.
Right.
So especially if a family member has a problem,
Right.
then everybody steps up and does what they can to raise money to help them.
Sure.
And that's one of the great things about being a part of this. It's a family community.
Yeah.
It's not, my aunt's got cancer. Oh, well, condolences. No, it's let's put together a fundraiser to raise money for them.
right.
And that's what everybody does. Everybody steps up. And that's the great thing about Memphis, because the bad thing about it is you've constantly, seems like this time of the year, you've got fundraiser after fundraiser after fundraiser, but you can't control what happens.
Sure. And there's a reason for those fundraisers.
And is it also because kind of leading into the holidays,
Right.
so they ramp up a little more?
The majority, and I'm going to throw this out there, Rick Hale, every year he does the Christmas for the kids.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's the biggest thing. And then you've got Michelle that does with the Kitchen and the Cross, raises money to feed homeless people.
Yeah.
Then you're going to have this family member over here get sick, this person passes away, and all of it, for some reason, it seems like this time of the year, for some reason, it all hits at once.
Right.
But like I said, you can't control what happens.
Right. You can just step up to the plate and do what needs to be done. And that's great that you mentioned Rick and Michelle. what they do. You can't help but mention the venues like Hadley's and the Crossing and so many places that step up for this sort of thing. Neil's.
And, you know, it's bars like that, clubs like that, people like that donate the door. We're not charging you when you come in. We don't take half of the pot. All of it goes to this.
Right.
So when you go in and you pay $10 or $15 at this benefit, the club's not getting that money. That money is going to these people. So that's a good thing because you've got, haven't dealt with them, but I would imagine there's some out there that's like, no, we won't have the pot.
Yeah.
No, that's not what it's about. So, but Neil's and Hadley's are the main two that step up in the Crossing, that step up and say, hey, y'all use our place. You get the bands in here and have at it.
That's awesome.
You know?
It's a win-win.
Yes.
You know, they're trying to do it for the right reasons too. I'm sure they have their heart behind that as well. But let's face it, also brings business.
Right.
Right. So it's a
Alcohol
win-win.
sales.
Yeah. It's a win-win.
That's where they make the money at. So,
and we just had Tim Dills here just a few days ago.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things we talked about. And again, me having this enlightenment and really finally seeing this community, even though it's been in front of me since 2011.
Right.
That these bands step up for these benefits. And then going back to the win-win, it gives them exposure, doesn't it? It gives them a platform to be like, okay, you know, no one's booking us, you know, for money to do 4 hours on a Friday.
Right.
But man, we have this opportunity. Let's go out there. And they're getting to be noticed.
And a lot of the benefits you're going to get in front of a crowd that you normally wouldn't get in front of. And if you get 50 people, you may have 20 of those people that say, hey, I'm going to start going and seeing these people. They're good. So it helps out all the way around in the whole community. So
right, and they are good. And for people that are watching this that you may not be from the Memphis area, it's worth a vacation to come see these bands. I mean, spend your time here and just come and check some of this out because they're national level talent.
Yes,
that we have the privilege of seeing anytime we want to.
I can't wait to get Tris. I was going to say Tracy and Chris, but Tris. Maybe that's like Benifer, right?
Is that going to be our first edit?
Yes. No,
leave that in there. That's a good one.
Tracy,
I'm going to start calling him a Tris.
Tracy Rubel, you know, owns that stage.
Yes,
he does.
Like he's in an arena.
Yep.
He is. He is an entertainer.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's one of the things I love about him.
Yeah.
Us too.
Same,
for sure.
The one time I've been able to see that band, I know there's going to be more times ahead.
Oh, yes.
And they were supposed to, again, timeline continuum here. As we record this, we do have a benefit that we're going to tonight that Fast Mothers was supposed to perform at, but it's since changed, right?
Right. Yeah.
But
I think the Olive Branch Davidians are playing now. That's all. That's a hilarious name.
Yes.
That's great.
I think that was kind of a last minute, let's throw together these guys.
Right.
And just give them a name kind of thing. But Midnight Train is playing, and if y'all haven't seen them, you need to see them.
I have not. So that's the only band that Alan Bone plays in that I haven't seen yet.
Alan Bone is an absolute, complete badass.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
he's been in here too.
Yes.
You know,
I'm looking forward to that one.
He was our first interview, honestly. You know, I told Jeff today when we decided to go, I'm like, we're stalking this guy. You know, but yeah, we like Alan because he hits those drums hard. But you know what? Also an awesome voice. Sings his ass off.
For sure.
His voice, I might get in trouble for saying this, has come a long way in probably 2 years.
Yeah.
When I first, I'm saying 2 or 3 years, when he got with EMN and was doing backing with them, I was kind of like, push the mic away. But now his voice, I guess he's learned his voice, and now he sings.
Yeah.
And there's like 4 or 5 songs that he sings with Midnight Train and also with Chasing Angels.
I was just going to bring that up.
He sounds great.
Yeah.
I was going to bring that up. We talked about that with Alan because we had just seen Chasing Angels, and you were there at Hadley's the night before we interviewed him, and I didn't say this part to him, but I remember we were there listening, and I think I was eating the sausage cheese plate where we had, and I heard a Judas Priest song.
Yes.
And just my ears just assumed it was still Max singing. And I look up, It was Alan.
Yeah.
It just fit right in. It's not like it was some drastic change and
Right.
someone was like off pitch, whatever. I was like, wow, that's awesome. And I always have respect for drummers that can sing because much like bass players too, it just mechanically really just is hard.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And when I see drummers up there singing their tail off, and you know they can't hear themselves,
Right.
Yeah.
you know, unless they have good in-ears.
He does.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
maybe
he does.
maybe he's got a good mix for himself, but I don't know. It's pretty cool. You're trying to sing while you're hitting a cymbal.
Yeah.
You know.
But him now, I look forward to hearing him sing.
Yeah.
I really do
Yeah.
because he sounds so great. The songs that he sings, he fits those songs.
Yeah.
He sings them great.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, let's talk about you a little bit. So, what got you involved in the scene? I mean, I know you've been here for a long time, and you've been helping for a long time. How did you get involved in that, and what keeps you going? What keeps you doing it?
Well, back in, I'm going to say around 90-ish, I went to a party one night and met David Tidwell
Okay, I remember David.
with Jade, and I started hanging out at the band room with them. And Aces High, they shared a band room.
Okay.
And Tony Smith had a big double bass, huge kit, and I started helping him with his kit.
Okay.
Well, turned around and started helping Chris Owens with his kit. And next thing it's, all right, let me get the drums done and then I'll help everybody else.
Right.
And it progressed to me just doing that. That was my part of, I don't sing, I can't play an instrument. I love music.
Yeah.
This is my contribution to what y'all do.
Yeah.
I want you to continue doing what you do.
Yeah.
So if me being there, supporting you, helping you load your gear in and out will bring you back tomorrow night, I'm here to do it.
Well, that's awesome, man. And
So
I got involved much the same way. I helped Dan Fowler with his drums in Disturbance back when they were here in the early 90s, late 80s. And that's how I got started in this scene mainly.
right,
And then decided I wanted to step it up and play as well. And
right.
there you have it. But
Yeah, I had a kid at the time. I had started playing, was learning how to play, and I got into it with those. And I was like, I just sold my kid.
yeah,
There's
it's
no
a lot
point in
easier
it
to help
because-
out than it is
Yeah.
to move your own crap.
Yes. So, and we moved in 91. We moved to New Orleans, and I went to work for a band down there called Paris.
Okay.
They were New Orleans. That scene at that time, I don't know if it's still the same now, but back then there was two bookers.
Yeah.
You worked for one of them or you didn't work,
Okay.
period. They controlled the music scene down there.
Right.
And I worked for a band called Paris, and they were kind of a glam rock.
What year is this again?
91. We went and played out Homa. We went out to Homa to play a bar. And when we rolled up, we were scared to get out the car.
Yeah.
We went in and set up, and when the people started coming in, they're like, look, when shit breaks off, grab everything and throw it in the van, and we will be waiting on you. And I'm like, what? Really? Because, I mean, this is like skateboard, weird, out there kind of music, and we're playing
Not
pop.
that. Yeah.
And when they started playing, everybody's like looking at you like, who are these people? Why are they here?
Right.
So they played, about 2 hours. We got out, never went back. But in New Orleans, they had a good following. They had a real good following.
Sure.
Basically got married, had kids. And
Been
I got out of it. My daughter was born in 92. We got married in 92, and we moved back up here. When my daughter was born, I said, I'm not raising a kid in New Orleans. Right? Because back then it was 100 times worse then than what it is now here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we moved back up here, and it was just, the past 30 years was raising a family.
Sure.
And once the kids got grown, I wanted to get back into it. We went to
And when did that happen?
about 8 or 10 years ago. We went to, I want to say it was Whitesnake out at Snowden Grove.
I was there.
And we were sitting. I got to sit up front. It's not all about listening to the music. I want to feel the music. I want to be up front.
Is that the show that EMN opened?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And
And
that's why
Travis
we went,
Hall
because
was
Trav
playing.
was
Yeah,
playing.
okay.
Yes, I wanted to see Trav because I
Yeah.
hadn't seen him in 30 years.
Me too. That's the last time I saw Travis.
We were, Todd Poole went by. We were sitting there talking, and I seen him walk by, and I was like, that was Todd. I'll be back. I jumped up and chased him down and talked to him. He's like, man, I got this band 714.
Yep.
You got to come check us out. And I was like, all right. And I started going to see them.
Right.
And I started helping them and got right back into it.
Right.
So,
Awesome.
And it just grew from there.
And Jimmy Fulp was playing drums for 714? Is that right? No.
At that time, Garrett Marshall was playing.
Okay.
Garrett was playing drums and
Bill Marshall's son?
yes.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name. Robbie. Robbie was playing guitar.
Okay.
He plays in a couple of bands, cover bands.
Okay.
Him and Garrett usually are in a band together.
I got you.
No matter what the band is, they usually stick pretty close together.
Okay.
And then of course 714 changed different drummers, different guitarists and everything. I do believe Matt Dees was playing with them back then.
Okay.
And of course then they evolved back to Roxy Blue.
Right.
I hooked back up with EMN and the first time I seen Rick and talked to him, him and Troy's basically the only original members,
Right.
you could say.
Right.
I walked up to him. I said, man, I'm going to tell you, I don't know if you remember me or not, but I'm sorry. Back then, I was a total asshole. If you were not in Jade or Aces High,
Right.
you didn't exist.
Right.
I don't care who you are. I don't care if you got a record label or not. You're no good.
Yeah.
You know, the only other band at that time back then that I really went and looked at and watched was Roxy Blue. And the main reason I went to see them was because of Sid.
Yeah.
God, he was
a monster.
unreal.
Yeah, he was.
So, but yeah, and it just, like I said, it just evolved from there. When EMN come off the stage out there, I told my wife, I said, I'll be back in a few minutes. She said, where are you going? I said, I'm going back there to see Travis.
Yeah.
How the hell are you going? I'm just going to walk back there.
Right.
I walked around to the gate, and the guard standing at the gate, I walked up to him. He said, can I help you? I said, I'm going to see Travis. He opened the gate and let me through.
There you go.
And I would just walk straight on in like, I'm supposed to be here.
Right.
So, and that was the first time I seen him, like I said, in 30 years.
Yeah.
Since Aces High.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, I guess you could say me hooking back up with Todd
Right.
is what got me back into it.
Well, I really want to get Travis in here. So if you can contact that dude and Travis, please watch
I'll
this.
tell you where he lives. You can go knock on his door.
I may have to because he's a hermit.
We might have to hire him as our booker.
There you go.
I know you've been doing killer, Jeff, but this guy,
Hey, he's got connections.
if you know 10, he knows 100.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. I hope.
You know a lot.
So you perked my ear earlier in the story of when you first got started in this, and you mentioned like a band room, and bands were sharing a band room.
Yes.
Was that a place that people could and bands could rent space?
Yes.
Oh, let's hear about that.
You're looking at like just north of State Line Road on 51, Eye-Ear Optical.
What was it called?
Eye-Ear Optical. It's still there.
Okay.
Well, it's in that building. You walk down a hallway and there's different office spaces. So these two bands rented this office space.
Yeah.
And Jade had the main, and Aces High had like the side room over here.
Okay.
And that was the practice room.
So is that space still available for bands?
Probably not.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
That
believe
was
so.
30 years ago.
So it wasn't so much a well-known advertised place for bands. It was just they happened to find a place that worked. That's awesome.
Because I haven't seen anybody that actually advertises, hey, we have a band room
Well, that's why it sparked my interest, because that is absolutely what Memphis is missing. We'll give a shout out to Memphis Music Room.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If no one knows about Memphis Music Room, it's on Shelby Oaks Drive.
Shelby Oaks, yes.
Off of Sycamore.
It is the old Shriners building.
That's right, and it's multi rooms, big stage, little room.
Yes.
And we somehow found that with Derek Joseph, the gentleman we play with. So shout out to him.
Yep.
But without him and before him, like, it's impossible.
Yeah,
right.
You know, and out in Nashville, I mean, you can trip over a sidewalk and land in a rehearsal spot, you know, but man, it's really missing around here, isn't it?
I went to Brooks and Airways area.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of old office spaces. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
And it's not in the kind of neighborhood that you want to be in at night. And that was where 714 had their rental space at. And when I went in, it's a bunch of office type spaces.
Right.
They're little rooms like this. And every one of them, there's a band in each one of them.
Yeah.
That's the practice room. Well, when I went to New Orleans, they were practicing in storage units.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you open up the door and there's the band set up.
And you know that must have sounded great.
Yeah. So,
well, Memphis Music Room has really got it going on.
Yes.
If you have a band, you want to prepare for a big show, big stage, you got all the room in the world. You can set up everything, and
the rooms are furnished with various backline items.
Yeah.
If you're a keyboard player, Jeff,
I'm not.
No, but you know how many keyboards they have.
Oh
there.
yeah.
It's an ongoing joke. There's 1,000 keyboards in one of those rooms.
Yeah.
Yep. We were actually when they first kicked that place off, EMN Roxy Blue played up there.
Okay.
And we were all discussing the fact of how easy it's going to be because they have the mobile platforms. You set your drum kit up.
Yeah.
When that band gets done, you push that one off, you bring the next one in, lock him down, and you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Instead of tearing it down, you're just in and out. It's so easy.
It's great.
And yes, I told the guy back then that had it, this is a mini Mid-South Coliseum. This is a perfect place to bring in national bands, have local bands opening for them. I mean, you've got a huge area for huge audience.
Yeah.
And the sound in there is great. So,
and they shoot music videos in there.
Yep.
We saw that recently.
Yeah, so they have nice lighting in there. So, Jeff, what's the name of the owner of the Memphis Music Room again?
It's Johnny.
Okay, and he's a character.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, we're going to bring him in for an interview, but we're going to set aside like 4 hours, Johnny.
He's a talker.
He likes to talk.
He's a talker.
But that's okay. He's got a lot to share.
Yeah, that's going to be a 3-parter.
Yeah.
A mini-series.
A mini-series, yeah.
But yeah, full of energy, passionate.
Yes.
He really wants to bring in this new thing, which is needed.
Yes.
He found a need, and he's trying his best to fill that need as best as possible, for sure. And he's got a lot invested in that place.
Yes.
And he has from what I can tell, he's not going to be pumping the brakes anytime soon.
Right.
Good.
You know, he's cruising along there. But
I'm looking forward to what that place can bring in. The acts that they can bring into that place, and the amount of people that you can put in that place. It's nice.
Well, let me just say, I think we need an EMN, Roxy Blue, Tora show at the Memphis Music Room. Let's make that happen. Let's just big Memphis-made, Memphis music.
Yes.
Also, he's leaving, he's renting out the space to other events. He had a UFC event there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Midget wrestling.
Yep.
If you'll do the midget toss, I'm there. So
the midget toss.
So, but yeah, they're doing all kinds of events there. There's concessions. They have an alcohol permit, so you can go get hammered and toss a midget.
Get hammered. Yeah. And in the back, any wrestling fans out there, in the back, there's an old Memphis wrestling 18-wheeler trailer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got Jerry Lawler on the side, and
we may have to get Charlie Belt and Bob Boscia in there.
Yeah,
set a ring
the
up.
wrestling freaks.
Yeah,
I love wrestling. I don't watch it anymore. But I'm a historian at it. I watch and listen to any documentary I can get my hands on. I love it. I'm a big Jim Cornette fan. Anyone out there?
Yeah.
Jim Cornette.
I'm a Jim Cornette guy.
Oh, yeah.
There's Jim Cornette guys, and there's not Jim Cornette guys.
Right.
I'm absolutely one.
I guess you
love
didn't
that
like
guy.
Downtown Bruno.
Who's that?
Downtown Bruno.
Is that an old Memphis wrestler?
Yeah,
Because I don't know. I don't know the
no,
history
he
of like
was,
the
he was,
territories by person.
Manager.
Yeah, he was a manager.
Say his name again.
Downtown Bruno. Yeah.
Man, I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
I
a
guess I'm a
wrestling
pretty
man.
weak historian.
Well, no, it was probably just
yeah.
a local Memphis guy,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah, I don't go that deep to all the different people within the territories, but I'm
Right.
fascinated by learning about the territories.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about
you
it.
know.
We had a run here with wrestling that would
Yeah.
rival
Yes.
anything in the country.
I mean, I don't know the players outside of Lawler,
Right.
but
God,
But
fabulous
Memphis-
ones.
Memphis across the board. I've watched enough to know that Memphis is highly respected as one of the top
Yeah.
territories.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
That was
So
Saturday morning. You sit down and watch wrestling.
yeah, it was.
Wrestling goes off and Bruce Lee comes on.
And then Monday night, you had to be at the Mid-South Coliseum to see it all live.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's really
it was
cool.
a big deal here.
So they tape it on Monday and then air it the following Saturday. Is that
Well,
what you did?
Monday was actually live
Yeah.
wrestling.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The what you would watch on Saturday morning is in the studio wrestling.
The
Yeah.
studio wrestling. That's
Yeah.
right. There's
And
two
they-
different things.
They
yeah.
would show clips from the
Yeah.
previous
Right.
Monday
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now they would call that a house show in,
Right.
in the arena. It's a house show.
Right.
You know.
Have you watched The Rock?
I have
series?
not touched
Okay,
it. Yeah.
you need to watch it.
Yeah.
You need to
Is
watch
it-
it
is it
because
good?
it they've actually been shooting here in South Haven
Uh-huh.
area.
Because isn't he from Walls? The Dwayne
he's
Johnson?
not from here. No. He lived in Walls
That's
with
it. Oh.
Downtown Bruno.
Okay, so that was back because he started in this territory way back when,
Right,
right? Because
right.
his dad was legendary as well.
Yep.
I love
It
how
is
this
a
turned into
very-
a wrestling conversation.
I'm learning things right now. I'm just
It
listening.
is. It's very educational to watch
Yeah.
because there's a lot of stuff in there that I didn't know because I'm like, I was around that area at that time and I didn't realize that The Rock was living right there.
Right.
So yeah,
I got you.
That's cool.
Yeah. And for those watching and listening, if you don't know the accent that you're hearing from myself and Steve, we're from Canada. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm from Mississippi. Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, I
Well,
can't help it.
man, this has been great. You know, you brought a list of bands, and are there anyone on that list that we haven't touched on yet that you would like to talk about?
Everybody.
Oh, let's talk about
Yeah,
it.
talk about it.
Yeah.
Tell us, give us
Yeah,
what
It's
you got.
kind of I didn't want to leave anybody out.
I bet
really.
I know who some of them are, and we've probably
So-
already talked about them, but we'll
Yeah.
talk again. That's fine.
Every one of these bands are bands that I go see and I recommend everybody to go see because they are great, excellent bands. They are right here in Memphis. And it's everything from country to rock to the Mothers is a jazzy, bluesy rock.
Right.
I mean, it don't matter what genre you like, you're going to get it right here.
Right.
And it's everybody from EME and Roxy Blue, the Fast Mothers, Fever Tree.
Yep.
I don't know if y'all have heard of Roses Unread.
I have heard of them. I have not seen them.
They are great.
I'll have to check
They are
them out.
great. Of course, Hammer Down Hard. I don't know if they're still playing or not.
Right.
Nutbush Superstar,
Don't know them.
Twinkie,
Okay.
Tor. Everybody knows Tor.
Yeah.
Elevation, Memphis.
Yeah.
Y'all were talking. Y'all going to get them in.
Yes.
They are great.
Yeah.
Great people. Jay Jones, Derek Joseph.
Oh, well, thank you.
Um,
Derek, thanks you.
We paid him,
Yeah.
didn't we, Jeff?
Yep. Lots of money.
These are all that are now. I'm leaving out the ones from way back. The Electric Nobodies.
I've heard of them.
They are great.
Okay.
Grape. I've
Yeah.
seen them. They are great.
Okay.
If you want to go see a cover band,
Yep.
I'm sorry. 6 Feet Thunder is the best cover band in Memphis.
Well, look,
Is
you
that
are-
a controversial comment there?
Well, anytime you say best, but
They
you
are
are
the-
certainly entitled to that opinion, and that's a look. I've
Yes,
seen,
of course.
I've seen videos, and
Yeah.
it would be hard to argue.
They
Yeah,
are
so,
spot on.
Yeah.
The music that they play,
Yeah.
they play. I mean, you've got a stage full of stars
Yep.
from different bands that come together and form this band.
Yeah.
And they play a big variety of music. They play stuff that other bands do not play.
Right.
What got me, they played Honeymoon Suite,
Yeah.
and they played, it was right there, and I forgot it. Two one-hit wonder rock band. songs
Right.
that you don't hear.
Right.
And when they played, I was like, wow, where did that come from? I ain't heard that in 30 years since I don't have a cassette player no more, you know? Midnight Train.
Yeah.
Midnight Train is great. Headband, Brian Johnson Band.
Yep.
He is Stevie Ray.
Okay.
I mean, it's unreal to watch him and listen to him play. Chasing Angels, they're heavier, but they are absolutely great.
Yeah.
Carrie, unreal.
Yeah.
Ethical Suicide Parlor. I don't know if y'all seen them yet. Okay. Alice in Chains cover band.
Oh, so like a tribute to a
Yes.
certain band. Nice.
And they are good. Jimmy Fulp is on drums.
Okay.
Jace sings.
All right.
Troy is the bass player. Gunner plays guitar, and the other guitar player I can't remember.
I didn't know the existence of this band. I got to check this out.
Yep, they played at B-Sides, I want to say about a month ago, and they actually have Jace. They're supposed to be announcing, I think, this week. They've got another show coming up.
Okay.
There's a new band out that has only played once that I know of that I would like to see, a band called Sleep Theory.
Okay.
I think they're original. A guy I used to work for, his son is a guitarist in it. And I went on YouTube and watched a couple of their videos, and they are like Seven Dust. They're just badass. They are great, great young band. But for the majority of it, I'm probably leaving somebody out. I'm sorry. I tried to write everybody down.
You can't help but leave people out, and that's never intentional. It happens.
Yeah.
Everybody that we can think of is going to get mentioned on this show at some point.
But clearly, these bands touched you in some way. You know, for the fact that you're listing them out, they've affected you in some positive way. So it's no problem to shine that.
And you have a lady, I don't want to forget her, Tori Torlison. She does a lot of acoustic stuff, and she has got a voice. I would say Janis Joplin reborn. She sounds to me, she sounds just like Janis when she sings.
Okay.
She's got a great voice. But other than that, I mean, I try to support everybody. I try to promote all the bands. If I see a band playing, y'all are playing at Hadley's tonight, I'm going to share it.
Right.
And if I'm going to see this band, I'm going to share it all week, 2 or 3 times a day. Right. So I get a lot of, man, how do you go to all these shows? Well, just because I'm sharing the show don't mean I'm going to it. Now, if I put a picture on there of me being there, then that's a different story.
Let me ask you this, because I have been thinking about this as I'm trying to go out more myself. And is there a central location online to go to see what a Friday night looks like around town, what a Saturday night looks like around town, whether it's cover or original? Does that exist?
Honestly, no. But there is something in the progress, in the process of being done.
Okay.
The guy has approached me about helping him with it, but I don't think he's really sunk into it, really dove into it. He does it for other cities, but he don't do it here yet. He's just getting started here.
Okay. Yeah. And you definitely would be a go-to.
Oh yes, I would,
because you're keeping track of everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I would hate to say just go to my Facebook page, because I'm going to share.
Yeah.
The majority of the bands that are playing and where they're playing at, because you have to go to Hadley's. You have to look at their list. You have to go to Lafayette. You have to look at their list.
Right.
You have to go to Neil's and look at their list to see who's playing and when they're playing.
Yeah, it certainly
and
takes.
A lot of people don't want to do that.
Right. It takes research. It takes work to do that.
Right.
But it would be nice to be like, it's a Friday. I feel like going to check out a band. Do I want a cover band or an original? Tonight I'm in the mood for let's see an original band that I haven't seen before. So then you go to this platform, and that would be awesome to have. So I don't know. Maybe we have to do something about that.
It just hit me. I forgot somebody that y'all really. I know y'all haven't seen him because I haven't seen you there. Carlos Echoes.
I have not seen him.
Say that name again.
Carlos Echoes.
Carlos Echoes.
He plays a few cover. He's getting more to playing his originals now. He has a great Carlos Santana sound. It's I love listening to him. I don't care where he plays at for the majority. I go see. I don't like going down on Beale Street.
Right.
That's
We understand.
Yeah. I don't like going on Beale Street. You know, back in the day, that's where we lived at.
Right.
Now it's totally different. But Carlos I can't believe I missed you, Carlos. I'm sorry. You was on my list. You were number 3, and I skipped right over you.
No worries. You got him in there.
No one's keeping tabs.
No.
And if you are keeping tabs, come on, get a life.
Get real.
Well, man, awesome. Thanks for stepping in today. Is there anything we're missing? I don't want to cut you off here. You know, at some point, you know, all podcasts come to an end.
Yeah.
But we
could talk for hours.
I know, right?
We could talk for hours.
So, Jeff, did you have any other questions you wanted to go?
I think we covered it all.
Cool. Well, look, man, Steve Owens, the Memphis Batman, that's what we're calling him.
Yeah.
That
works.
The roadie of the century.
Yeah.
Look, thank you for being here, man. Let's do some call to action. You know, I'm going to put your Facebook in our description so that people can go to it. Is there any other place you'd like people to go to as far as websites or socials or anything? Your Facebook would be
just Facebook. I share everything on Facebook. I don't really get on Instagram that much, and I've never Twittered. So everything is on Facebook. Like I said, thank y'all for doing what y'all do.
Thank you, man.
Thank all of the musicians in Memphis for doing what they do and continuing to do what they do.
Awesome.
Because without them, where would we be?
And I'm going to mention how this doesn't exist without the musicians too. But anyways, thanks, Steve.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
And thank you to the audience for listening to the Rhythm Section podcast. We totally appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeff, where can people go to get more of this podcast?
Well, you can follow us on Facebook. We do have the Rhythm Section Pod now, active Facebook page. Check us out at YouTube at the Derek Michoud channel.
Yeah,
and I have to spell that name because it's not as simple as Jeff Ward.
In parentheses in your script, it says spelling and description.
So Derek is pretty self-explanatory, Derrick, but the last name will get you. It's M-I-C. Let me look and make sure I do this right.
K-E-Y.
H-A-U-D.
D. We ran out of music.
Edit.
No, that's fine. It's my damn last name. Screwed it up too long.
And we are on the major platforms now, Spotify, Apple.
Stitcher, and for those, follow, rate, and review if you could. And again, like you mentioned, Steve, I want to thank the community here.
Yes.
The music community here is strong. I'm so glad that we're getting to know it.
Yep.
And this show wouldn't exist without it. People like yourself coming on here, the musicians spending their time to come down here all the way to Hernando.
Yep.
We do appreciate that. And until next time, that's Jeff.
That's Derek.
And we'll talk to you later. Thanks, y'all.
Thanks.